Good morning and happy Thursday. CPI is in, market is weak, but we're going to break it down and we're going to find things to trade today. Thanks for joining us. We're getting ready for another episode of live trading. Let's get started.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Those words have been dancing around my head all night. Oh, it's Vegas lore, that phrase.
All right, good morning, folks, and welcome to another episode of Live Trading. It's great to have you all joining me. We are going to have a big day. CPI is in. That's what we're going to start off with here. Of course, I got my main man, 13, in the back. 13, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you, Ryan? How are you out there, chat?
I'm doing really, really good. I woke up here in Detroit to a nice blanket of snow. Looks awesome outside. I'm absolutely stoked. Richard's saying here in Michigan, we're expecting 14 inches of snow in the next 2 days. Richard, let me get a flex for that. That's going to be awesome. I'm walking distance to the office, so as long as it doesn't mess with my plane flight on Saturday, I'm good, folks. I'm good.
Well, you enjoy that snow. I got frost on my grass this morning.
So frost down in Texas. How about that?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be cold. We've been getting temperatures dipping into the 30s, and we're supposed to be getting probably the coldest winter we've had since 2021 when we had that cold snap, that deep freeze. So got to prepare for that. We're not used to that stuff out here.
Okay. Well, hopefully, didn't you have like water mains and stuff breaking last time, and you were without water or something? I think it was crazy the last time this happened to you.
There were some things that happened. I did have an irrigation line that broke, and that was the extent of it. Other than that, it was okay. It's just that we didn't have power for 2 days, and
that's right. It was
things got a little cold.
Water. Yeah, there's power, not water. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get rolling here. I'm going to bring up first here Benzinga Pro. Before we dive in here, this is just a reminder that this stream, live trading here, sponsored by Trade the Pool, prop firm that has a gigantic pool of stocks for you to trade. And if you need that extra buying power up to 260K, give Trade the Pool a shot. Easy way to get you over that 25K pattern day trader limit if you need that for your trading. So go check them out. They're awesome. They spend time here in the chat with us. Good morning, Gil. It was almost as if your ears were burning, Gil. And as I started talking, you're like, I'm going to say good morning. So awesome stuff. Be sure to check them out. We are very, very appreciative of that. And hey, we might have some more active trading today. One of the things we've been talking about, 13, these past couple of days, volume has been low. It almost seems like people have been waiting for the CPI print. And guess what? We got that today. Let's take a look here real quick at that print. Courtesy of Benzinga Pro, U.S. CPI for December 3.4 versus the 3.2 estimate. The prior reading was 3.1. The CPI month over month for December, 0.3% versus the 0.2 estimate. The prior reading was 0.1. So CPI absolutely coming in a little bit hot here. This basically means prices are still elevated in some of those core items. But the speed of inflation is in fact slowing down. Now, if we take a look here at the SPY, if we start here with the daily chart, we've run up to that 480 level. We did not quite test it. We certainly did not break it. And now it looks like, given this morning, we're pulling back a little bit off that level. So 13, I know we've been talking about the 480 level. You've also been talking, I believe, about 476 and 473 as potential levels. So we're going to see what levels either break down or what levels hold here today for the SPY. If we take a look at the intraday chart here, you can see that the SPY is actually weak here this morning. So my big question is going to be, do we actually keep breaking down here today, or do the buyers actually step in and take control? Now, I will say, from right now, I know it's early. Right now, I'm skeptical of a rally, but I would not be at all shocked if we got bought back to balance, or maybe even popped a little green there. So anything that you're looking for in particular today on the SPY before we check out our movers tool?
Yeah, I'm looking for more of a neutral candle today. I was illustrating last year's CPI that came out around this time, and there's some very eerie price action happening that's quite similar to that year in 2022. So CPI, I think we're just going to, like somebody said yesterday, we might just be in a range, but I think what's really going to accelerate a downside is what comes out of bank earnings tomorrow. But yes, today I expect it to be more of a neutral candle.
I believe we also get PPI tomorrow in addition to some of those bank earnings.
I'll double check that. That's probably true, but let me look.
Yeah, I think so, but I believe I saw that on the calendar for economic events that Alyssa provided for us. So, okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at with the market. One of the things I do want to see how the open is here. I think some of the stocks that are actually going to be in play today for trading are going to be some of these ETFs. We talk about them all the time: SQQQ, TQQQ, SOXS, SOXL. We should be able to play those here today if we get any type of extreme movement. So I'm looking at SOX here in the pre-market. We did pop a little bit here. Looks like we're up about 13 cents from when we were kind of trading sideways prior to the print. So we'll see if we get some action on some of those names. Now let me flip over to the movers tool. Let's take a look at some of the smaller cap stocks that are making some movements here today. I'm going to go ahead and get an intraday chart loaded up here for you. Let's roll through some of these and see what we have in terms of what's on deck here for today. First one that I'm taking a look at here is going to be SPEC. This is ticker SPEC. Actually, I forgot what S was. Sierra, Papa, Echo, Charlie. There we go. We did pop here today. You can see we actually popped above 4 very, very briefly. We got pulled back. We're hanging out here right around 327. Let me go ahead and get VWAP back in here. Boom. See where we are. We're actually right under the VWAP. VWAP at 360. We'll see if we get a close back there. Let me flip over to the news. We did have some news here on SPEC this morning that is driving this. Spectair signs a distribution agreement with MLab and Mosoft to bring air core emission system in Europe. So I've never heard of these companies at all, but this is clearly the PR that's driving it here today. I think what we're going to do is just try to remain technical on this name. I don't know that this is one that I actually really kind of trust. This is just going to operate as a trading vehicle for us today. We're going to try and make some money off of this one. Again, big thing here. Want to see how this behaves around the open. Want to see what the volumes look like and all that. Spec looks like it's bleeding here in the pre-market. So the first thing that we're going to need is for this to firm up. Next one I have here on the list is MLEC. This is Mary Lima Echo Charlie. This is MULEC Science. We did pop as high as 349 earlier. Similar story to SPEC. We're kind of bleeding back here. We did have one decent pop that took us to the VWAP in the pre-market. And then we had the biggest volume stick of the pre-market actually take us away from the VWAP, but the pop wasn't all that strong. Only about 22 cents. Maybe even less than that. Only about 20 cents here before we started to break down. So looks like we're at the first or near the first bounce spot that we had in the pre-market here on MLEC. We'll see if we can end up get rolling here. The big thing is going to be watching the volume on this name, really on any of these smaller names, but right around the open here, we should get an idea of where this is going to go. And we're also going to wait this out, right? I don't necessarily want to try and take an early trade, get trapped in it, and start from behind the 8 ball like I did yesterday. 0 for 3 yesterday, definitely looking to turn it around here today. Next one on the list here is going to be TGAN. This is TGAN. Now, I don't think there's going to be a trade here because this is actually a merger and acquisition situation here. This is the company here is Transform. We did pop as high as 520 on one of those candles there, but it looks like Renesas to acquire Transform to expand its power portfolio in GAN technology. Looks like this acquisition is for $5.10 a share in cash. So I'm not really sure that there's going to be anything on this one, but that's why that's up nearly 30% here this morning. Next on the list, I have SAI Tech Global. This is ticker SAI. This is another stock that popped above its VWAP, broke down beneath its VWAP, but is doing a good job of holding and not breaking down further. So again, let's see if we firm up there, get an opportunity to close the VWAP and maybe a push above the VWAP. I'm just going to roll through a couple more of these names. We also, obviously, we got the Bitcoin spot ETF actually approved. I know we dealt with the fake news article first, but it looks like that actually happened yesterday. Some of those Bitcoin names likely to be in play here today. And I don't just mean coin. I mean some of those smaller ones too. I see BTBT, CLSK, Riot, and Mara. on the list here. I actually see Coinbase on the list here as well. So we should have a lot of action in some of those Bitcoin names. I actually don't have a Bitcoin chart up right now. Let me see if I can pull one up, give you an idea of where we're at there. Bitcoin is at the highs here, just under 48K on the Bitcoin futures contract. So let's see if we pull back or maybe even take the next leg higher here. As far as some of the other names that aren't necessarily tied to Bitcoin, there is, of course, ticker CAN. This is one we've traded quite a bit here in this show. This is Canaan. And I feel like this just randomly will just appear on the relative volume scanner, right? It just all of a sudden we get some type of trading action. The stock goes crazy. This one, at least, we're holding on the view app. So we are up 15+% here in the pre-market. Let's see if we can actually build and make a move higher here. BTM, another Bitcoin name here on the list. That's up just over 14%. We also have Wolf. We've traded this one several times here. This up 14% here. We'll see if we can actually take up this 249 top. I suspect there's going to be size there at 250. Okay, so I'm just kind of looking through some of these. I'll go ahead. Smoke Tuna mentioning Octo. We'll go ahead and mention that. That's, of course, a penny stock, so it's not going to appear on my list, but we will not discriminate against the penny players here. You will see there was some pretty good volume here in the pre-market. We had a little bit of a pop yesterday. So to me, it'll be very, very interesting if we can challenge any of these levels. That intraday high from, and this was this, let me just make sure that, yes, Wednesday the 10th, this intraday high was right here at 72 cents. We're currently at 53 cents, VWAP at 57, pre-market high of 65. So these levels pretty cut and dry, at least here for me on Octo. We'll see if that gets rolling here. Rhett, we covered TGAN. TGAN's a merger and acquisition. Unsure about how much actual trading activity we're going to get in that name. Now 13, I am absolutely juiced on coffee and the fact that it's snowing outside. So I'm going to try and dial it back here a little bit. Is there anything that you are looking for in terms of preparing for today?
Well, I took a small position in Zim again at the close yesterday because CNBC dropped some news that we've been talking about for quite some time now about how shipping rates are going up because of the situation in the Suez Canal and Red Sea. So far that's working this morning. This is not going to be something I hold for too long. I just want to, capture the movement. But we did get an update from Drury today about shipping rates over the changes over this past week. Last week they went up 61%. This week they're up another additional 15%. So shipping rates are continuing to rise, and that's bodes well for the trade idea with Zim. So that's why I'm in that. I also have I did some research on GitLab. Sorry, I can't remember who it was that asked me about it yesterday, but I did some research. So if we have some downtime today, we could probably cover that. Hopefully it'll help you guys out.
And see, it's not that easy, right? It's not that easy when there's a lot of people talking all the time. It's hard to remember who comes up with these good ideas all the time. I struggle with that all the time. I can't keep it straight.
My fault for not writing it down.
The way I look at it is that this is a good problem to have, right? If we can't remember all of the good ideas that are being tossed, we toss them. I'd rather have too many than too few. Yacht insurance guy in Florida saying snowing. What's that? LOL. Sunny 70 degrees here in Florida. You take your 70 degrees and sunny and you keep it down there in Florida. I am a winter sports guy. Played hockey my whole life. Absolutely love the snow. If I wanted some sunshine, I'd come down there and join you in Florida. But I'm going to stay up here in Detroit. We're going to enjoy the snow here today.
Hey, Ryan, those bulls you were talking about coming in, I think they're starting to come in. We've got a good set of green candles on the 5-minute SPY chart ever since we dipped beneath 476. We're trying to come back. I don't know that we're going to get up to this pre-market high that we made of what is this, about 478.50 exactly. But right now the bulls are trying to get this market back up. So this is something to watch. We might see a fight today.
Well, see, and that's exactly why I wanted to flag some of those ETFs as being potential trading vehicles, because if we do get that fight and we do get some of that back and forth volatility, there's going to be opportunities on either both sides of the ETF you're looking at, or maybe the inverse ETF if you don't want to go short, right? If you want to play the Qs, but you want to do SQQQ and TQQQ, you might have that available all day today. So we'll see. And the other thing here, 13, you were mentioning the SPY getting bought back up. That wasn't even really a good call, so to speak. It's just that's what we've seen here. We've seen that continue to happen here. So I'm just not even really surprised it's happening again. The one thing I will say, let's see what happens when the market opens. Right.
It was a good call.
Let's see if that changes.
It was a good call. Don't sell yourself short, buddy.
Thanks, 13. Jay Rice saying most of large cap tech is green except for Tesla. That is, I actually did notice that here, Jay. I was wanting to see if that was actually going to maybe normalize, I guess is the right word, closer to the open. Doesn't look to be the case. Now, Tesla has stopped breaking down, but as you can see, we've actually already taken 3 legs down here on Tesla. Good news here is if we do get any type of market pop, Tesla might be another great opportunity to trade here. We already in the pre-market have what, a $6 range carved out here, a little bit more than a $6 range. So if Tesla can get going, maybe we'll have that as a vehicle as well.
The news here is that, well, I don't think it's come across here, but I'm getting some news here in the happy hour chat from Andy. It's also down with Hertz cutting EV purchases because of low demand for EVs. So that might be factored into this as well.
Okay, so the Tesla movement then.
Yes, the Tesla movement. Sorry.
Okay, great. Well, there we go. And Lynn, I love the optimism, love the way that you're handling this. Sounds like an opportunity for us. So every problem is an opportunity in disguise. John Adams was a really smart guy, and he figured that one out long ago. And so we're going to carry that forward here today. Jay mentioning Netflix here, even downgrades getting bought. So you can see Netflix up 3% here in the pre-market. If we take a look at the news here, I actually didn't. Warner Brothers. Here we go. Warner Brothers Discovery, Paramount downgraded by Redburn over linear AdWords. Was there another downgrade here that I don't have in my news feed, Jay? Looks like Variety reported Wednesday Netflix ad tier now has more than 23 million monthly active users. I wonder if this is actually driving it too, this Variety report. But in any case, Jay, let me know what downgrade that was that you're taking a look at here. I did see there were some on Tuesday. Was that a downgrade? No, that was a maintaining coverage. Yes, Citigroup downgraded Netflix to neutral on Tuesday. I knew I saw one in there, couldn't find it. Announced a $500 price target. Stock's been up since then. So we'll see here on Netflix. 2 days ago, Citi downgrade. That's what I thought. I just couldn't see it there because I guess I haven't had enough coffee yet today, which is hard to believe. Okay, we'll see what tech does here. SPY pretty much already back to where it was at. Let me flip over to my main workspace here. We'll get that queued up. I do, of course, have Trade the Pool as the broker that we're going to be using here for some of the trades today. We're going to go ahead and take a look at that as well when the market actually opens. Let me just make sure we're all set here. Get my calendar flipped over to today. Is there anything else that you folks want to take a look at? Smoke Tuna mentioning ICCT. We took a look at that yesterday. Let's do that again here today. Just give me a second.
And he's also the one that mentioned. He's also the one that mentioned GitLab. So I'm going to put that out there. So we'll look at that if we have some downtime.
Okay. Let me roll through the chat here real quick. Orlando saying SAI. Yes, we covered SAI already. That is absolutely on the list here for today as a potential play.
LAES.
Yesterday.
Yeah, that one has a pop almost before we open here, so that might be getting some attention.
Okay, we'll take a look at that
Orlando's
here as well.
Being SAI.
That was on the list. We take a look at SAI from the pre-market movers here.
Yeah.
So let me see. So I can pull this up and trade the pool. Actually, I wanted to see if yes, it is. So here, let me flip over to this. We'll go ahead and take a look at it. Uh-oh. I lost my layout. Sorry. Let me go back to...
It's okay. You got less than 2 minutes.
There we go. I think this is what we need to do. Is it one of these? No. Let's see if it's this. There we go. Okay, so this is flipped though. This shouldn't be. This shouldn't be.
Good morning, Rich.
Okay, I'm going to stop messing around with this and just get ready for us to get going. Okay. Let me see if my pro is cooperating with me here this morning. actually go ahead. I'm actually going to go ahead and refresh before we get started here. Rich saying, has there been a happy hour this week? I didn't see the link. Yes, there is. There's been a happy hour every day. We got the last one of the week coming here today. And by the way, we've got 15 seconds until we open here. So hopefully Pro will be ready by then. Watching Bitcoin. I do want to watch SOXS. I want to watch some of this stuff right out of the open. Let's see if the buyers keep going here or if we revert back to the lows. Let's see. All right, we are open, folks. Good luck. Chewy, Mufe. Okay, so let's talk about Chewy. I did notice that Chewy actually had an upgrade here today. I know Chewy was a recent pretty good trade. We actually traded options on that one here. That traded up, really kind of sold off here. I was actually stopped out of the second leg of that trade. But Chewy got an upgrade here this morning. We'll see if, and in fact, let me bring that up here on a different chart. Chewy was trading up in the pre-market, but as soon as the market opened, we sold off there. SPY continuing higher here out of the open. Same with Apple. Tesla continuing lower here.
I'm just setting a stop for Zim, and then I can get back to what's going on with everybody else.
Yep, and sorry, I am still struggling with some of my software here. Here, let me go ahead and add this, and then I'm just going to do this temporarily. Here, does it look backwards for you on the stream, or does it look good?
Well, it looks fine. I can read it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so Zim here popping out of the open. That one looks pretty good. 1350. That was a level from yesterday. I think that's going to be in play here again today. We'll see on Zim.
Spec is beautiful. I was buying this one in pre-market. I had some levels set for this. My entry is 344. Now I'm just coming down to it, but I started feeling on the way up there. This thing's going to go all over the place.
Well, okay. So I actually have VWAP here at 355 on spec. Looks like we popped up to that. We'll see. We stopped right there and we pulled back. But if we don't break down anymore, maybe this will set up for you on spec.
Well, I did get some sell orders filled, and then we came back down. So we'll just see how this plays out. I might have to just stop at my level here about 322, where I was getting in recently. I'm down to 320, 344.
Okay, awesome.
There we go. Now we're starting to get support at 322, and
spec looks like this is continuing to move down here. In fact, my
a little lag there.
I actually might. Yeah, no. Actually, I think that was an office internet lag here.
Gotcha.
To be quite honest with you, because I just saw all my screens kind of refresh real quick. All right, so I'm actually going to try some spec right here. Stop under low of day. Let me see. I'll let you know when I get filled here.
Big sell order just came in at 329.
Okay, so I'm going to take some here. Filled some here at 328. Looking for a bounce here. Going to wait for this low of day. See what we do here at the low of day on spec. See if we can get a bounce back towards that VWAP. I still have VWAP at 353 here, so some pretty good range if we can go. We just took out that low.
Yep. That the levels I have for spec are 322, 290, and 250 on the way down.
One of those smaller stocks that I traded yesterday, I had the same type of stop, right under the intraday low. It took that out and then bounced. So in this case, I didn't actually set the stop. Watching it, saw it break down just kind of another 6 cents here, but it's so far it's holding. So not gonna get out of this just yet. I think if maybe we break down again, then maybe I'll take it off and wait for us to set back up. You guys are mentioning Wolf.
Yeah, we need to get to that 329 level where they got that big order, and then we should be looking pretty good. We'll see.
There we go. It looks like we actually just popped to that 329. I didn't see prints there, but I might have missed it.
No, that size is still there. It needs to get taken out. So
okay. Yeah, I see it there. I see it there.
Zim. Woo! Look at it go. And this was, they had CNBC put out the information about the shipping rates, and I just mentioned how they're went up 15% this week. I think this was, a lot of eyes were on this coming into the morning, so I think this is really, really working out. I think I saw some other folks in there talking to Zim too. So if you're in this, hope you're doing well. It looks like you are. LAES. is moving too.
Spec coming back towards the lows here. If I get stopped out, I'll start flipping around and taking a look at all of these. I see the chat mentioning Wolf and LQR. We will take a look at that as well. Roma, by the way, from yesterday, I saw Smoke Tuna mentioning that. Roma was a great trade yesterday. Crow called that one here live in a mid 3 handle. Thing went to 5 at some point. So another awesome call there. We'll check on all these names here. Just want to manage this trade as I have no stop set. I suppose I could set one and then we can kind of roll through it.
Yeah, Wolf got absolutely smacked down. Took out most of pre-market. Now it's trying to find support on the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. It looks like it's probably getting it.
Okay, so stop set here, 315, again, just under the low of day. We are right there, so I might get stopped out right here. We'll see. But let's go ahead and take a look at, yep, there we go, stopped out. So 0 for 1 here today. At least we're trying stuff. Let's take a look here at Wolf first. Looks like this one actually trying to bounce as well. Trying to bounce off that 227 spot. It looks like, what did I have here on that low print? 228. I have the low print of the intraday here, 227. Candle looks like it bounced off 228.
Yeah, Jay, you're funny. Nexie doing Nexie things. We know what that means. It's flipping around.
So I was going to say, so it's ripping, or is it spread like crazy here?
It's ripping and whipping. Let's just say that.
Ripping and whipping. Okay, hey, that's a new one. We're going to need a shirt that says ripping and whipping. Let's go. EKS mentioning GCT. Let's take a look at GCT here. That is popping here as well. GCT. Next is CLSK. That was one of those Bitcoin names that we talked about at the outset here. CLSK near the highs. Actually, was this the pre-market?
Oh, the microgrid one.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I've got yesterday's intraday high here, 1096. We're just under that here. Intraday high from today, 1093. So let's see if we pop above that. I do see some size, 1095, 1096, and 11 here on CLSK. Looks like this is trying to go higher here, CLSK.
Yeah, and well, I think because of the Bitcoin angle on that one. And wouldn't you know it, SPY is making new 52-week highs.
There we go. SPY still not over the pre-market high. One thing here on CLSK, if we take a look at this hourly chart, this 11 area seems to be pretty sizable resistance. I'm curious to know what this stock does if we pop above it. Here we go, 11 up here. Daily chart actually looks like a decent curl here, back towards the highs about 1350. We pulled off that high spot there. Again, 1098, still your intraday print. Clean spark, this might not be done here today. Kind of like this one. EKS, you might be onto something here.
LAES.
Pulling off that high, so not yet here on CLSK. LAES here, daily chart also looking good on this one. We did break above yesterday's intraday high again here, 229. This one looks good. Hourly looks good here as well. Really kind of cleared out some of these levels at 220. LAES. I do, looking at the ladder here, I've got a little bit of size at 239, a little bit more at 242 here on LAES. Let's see if this can get going. Looking around here at some of the other stuff as well.
Yeah. Let's see. You're mentioning Nexie. Sydney was mentioning Nexie. It's pulling off of that pop that it just had. Looks like that it ran into some supply from yesterday.
Okay.
We'll see. I don't know. I'm
still really kind of spready too. Still kind of spread 15 cents right now. It was wider than that earlier, so we'll see if that tightens up here a little bit. I am kind of interested in LAES and CLSK right now.
Yeah, Zim.
LAES approaching its intraday highs. Let's take a look at Zim. Wolf below VWAP again. Yep, looks like it bounced up to the VWAP. Lynn calling, I love it. I love calling the entry there. Entry on Tesla, 228. All right, so, okay, wow. This plunged and bounced already a little bit here. Let's see if 229 recovers. Now, looking at Tesla here, 3 legs down. Now, the rest of this is, the rest of tech, let's look at the Qs. Qs look just like the SPY. Looks like we're going back towards the highs. Apple did bounce, but reversed, and looks like it's retesting the pre-market lows on Apple. Good entry at 228 on Tesla, by the way, Lynn. Great entry there.
If Zim gets down to 1330, then it's gonna stop me out, but it's still holding this area, so pretty good. Spec looks like it's trying to come back. Sorry.
Okay, no, you're fine. Jay Wild calling Can. This going higher here. New highs here on Can. This thing has been a rocket since the open here.
Oh wow.
You said spec, right? SPEC.
It was it's
Yeah,
trying to
Yep,
trying
yep.
to come back.
And look at that. It stopped me out on that low. So I tried. This is interesting. I tried to wait this one out. We actually did this a few times here. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. Yeah. So I tried to wait out this first candle as we were pulling to the lows here. I tried to wait it out. We set new lows, took another leg down. I said, I'll stop here. After that, we actually flushed, and now it looks like we're starting to bounce here. Let's see if spec can get back. Actually, still 8 cents here back to the VWAP if we reclaim that on spec.
So Bitcoin.
SPY stopped bouncing. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Bitcoin mentioned by Johan, 48K. So yeah, we're up there now. My next level is about 50,500 for the next resistance level that I have. So we might see a big move.
And just as we talked earlier, some of those Bitcoin names moving, we already talked a little bit about CleanSpark. Ab3 asking about Mara here. Mara did if you look on the hourly chart here, Mara did a really good job of popping through where we have stopped since yesterday. Nice power candle here, 28.50 on Mara. I see a little size here at 28.54. It just moved to 28.60. Looks like it's got him at both spots here. Mara, this thing, like I said, likely to be wild. Cutter on the move again, says Jay Summers. Let's take a look at Cutter. CUTR. So this bounce was as high as 477, right? Yep, 477 at the high there on Cutter.
LAES is trying to make some new highs here. There is some size at 250 and 260, so it might run into some trouble at those prices.
Tell you what, these charts look good on this, though. Minute looks strong. The daily looks like a curl is in progress, and the 1 hour looks like we snapped out of that 220 spot and moved higher here. 242, my intraday high print. We're right there, and I agree. I see a little bit of size at 249, but more at 250 there.
And a really big amount at 260. I don't know if you're able to catch that or not.
And Murray saying symbols. Yeah, sorry. I'll keep trying to do the symbols there. What we are looking at here is LAES, Lima Alpha Echo Sandy. Oh, Sierra. I don't want to get yelled at. Kit being called here by Smoke Tuna, KITT. That's a penny from yesterday.
Oh, the Nautilus Robotics. Yeah, this is let's see, 55, 56 is an interesting level. We get above that, we could, see a pretty good pop. Based on
Johnny looking to short Google here. Sorry, 13 for running you over there. Johnny, I'd like to know, what are you seeing here in Google on that short? Just kind of shorten this pop. You think the market's going to weaken up here? So far, that's what's happened. Looking at the market, Apple leading the way back down, by the way. Actually, depends where your short was here. Short at the VWAP would have been money. Let us know what the extended thesis here is, Johnny, on Google. Continuing lower here. Great entry there if you took that one. Just EMA crossing. Okay, awesome. Awesome. Wolf up 14%. Nice. We took a look at that earlier. Looks like that pulled off that high. We'll see if we can actually take this range out here on Wolf. Size at 242 on Wolf to the upside. Can moving. Bringing it up. It is moving higher here. This is a Jay Wild special from today. Love it. The daily chart here really does look like a nice curl in progress here on Can. I'd probably have some resistance here, maybe 280 and 3. I'm too ill to trade today, but crazy tape. Walter, I hope you start feeling better, my man. I do the same thing. If I don't feel good, I don't force it in the market. I just get mad at myself for making stupid mistakes.
Yeah, I hope you feel better, Walter, and enjoy the show.
Take care of yourself, Kenny.
Microsoft overtakes Apple in market cap. Yeah, that was bound to happen. We were talking about Microsoft yesterday about how many many places they have their hands in. From cybersecurity to software development to now video games. That Activision Blizzard acquisition, they're everywhere. They do a lot.
Yeah, they do. And they're just entrenched in a lot of stuff as well. Wolf back down to the lows of the session. Microsoft, this actually kind of looks like the Google chart here, rolling over here and moving down on Microsoft. So Microsoft, Google, and Apple rolling over. Jay Rice mentioned Netflix earlier. That was higher. Let's see what Netflix is doing. Even Netflix looking like the same, although this is the strongest of the three that we just looked at.
SPY now red on a day.
Lynn already booked her $2 move in Tesla. That was an awesome trade out the gate here, Lynn. 228. Looks like you got 230 there on that pop back. Great trade. Great trade on that. What was the entry? How did you pick 228 as the entry? I guess is the only follow-up question I have there. Great trade. Looks like we're continuing to move back down here. Let's take a look at the SQQQ.
Palantir might be from yesterday. Might be trying to do some similar move. It's you know it's getting some push above some of the other EMAs. It's above VWAP now. Trying to come up to the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. And it got rejected once. I think we get through there. It could be another good day for Palantir. So
looks like we have a gap fill that closes here at 1708 on that daily. Looks like we tried to already hit that once, didn't quite have the strength. I wouldn't be surprised if this fills today. Okay, so the volume turned from selling to buying on Tesla, and the price that happened at 228. Good job identifying the level there based on the actual prints themselves, not just from the chart. Well done. B-Cell from Smoked Tuna. Another penny play here. This one looks like it's running.
LAES looks like it's flagging. It's still holding above the VWAP, but we're getting a bit of sideways action here on this one.
240 that spot, 242 the day high here. It looks like I actually have a little bit of size brought in under that 242 now. 249 has a little bit more size. We already talked about the one at 250 and 260.
Just cycling through these names.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing too here. We're getting, I was thinking about the ETFs here. This SQQQ, yeah. Maybe we bounce here. A nice little double bottom on that daily chart. Apple's still showing some weakness. Tesla resuming its bounce.
Wow. Bitcoin, look at it go. Look at it go.
Let me bring that up on a side chart here so I can keep an eye on that. Bitcoin 49,300 here on Bitcoin. All right, Jay, saying Meta and Nvidia were the clear leaders. Keep an eye on those two as they have rolled over a bit here. Here's Meta. We were talking in the office yesterday. I couldn't find anybody that really likes Meta. And we just, this one seems like the one to roll over here. You also mentioned NVIDIA. This one's been the absolute monster. See if that actually prints its high here. NVIDIA, I've got 550. Oh my God. 553.50. Looks like we pulled off there. 547 now.
Can looking like it's trying to break that recent high it made about 5 minutes ago of 260. Well, I have 263. It's still trying to move up.
Go ahead. I was just going to say, we were talking earlier. We didn't really see a whole lot pre-market. Since the market is opened, I feel like we're seeing a lot more now.
Yeah, that's kind of what we were talking about this before we came on. Is there's not a whole lot we're seeing right now, but it could be one of those things like yesterday and pretty much most of this week where we just have to wait for the open and everything starts to reveal itself, and we see all these previous runners from past days to start going.
Can 263 your intraday high here, 265 with the size.
Getting close to being stopped out of Zim for a profit.
Can slowing down there. Mara rolling over a little bit here. Let's see what happens if some of these names come back into the VWAP and give us a setup there. SPY continuing to come in here. So this is kind of what we talked about. I said I wouldn't be shocked if we got bought back to balance. Well, that's actually what happened, and now we've rolled back over. So let's see if we actually break through some of the lows that we put in the pre-market. I've got that here. The absolute low print on the SPY, 475.20. Realistically, we break down 475.50. we could get some more downside action here.
I'm just looking to see if 476 continues to be support.
Apple's still
We
weak.
had some pretty good support there in pre-market, and it dipped back down, came above. I just want to see if it continue to be support. So if we, as long as that holds, go ahead.
I think we're on the way there. I think we're on the way there
Yeah.
for that 460 test here on SPY.
Okay.
476, sorry, 460 test. Geez. 476 coming here, 13. We're only 17 cents away. Just broke. I spoke too soon. We tested that intraday low. We'll see if we end up snapping it here to the downside. You folks seeing anything else out there that you're trading? I know Wolf is being traded by the group here. Looks like Tesla kind of stopped. We'll Lynn, let us know if you get more entry there on Tesla or another, excuse me, another entry.
Well, Zim is still holding up.
LAES, Zim. Okay, let me bring that up. Sorry.
I haven't been stopped out of it yet. LAES is also looking like it's trying to get back above there. Very much sideways for this one, LAES and some others. Maybe just trying to wait and see what the market does.
LAES, another example of why buying the pull on some of these day trades seems to be the move. Anyone else having audio trouble, or is that specific to Richard? Everything looks good on my end in terms of levels and all that. Can you hear me, 13?
I can hear you.
Yeah. It seems like, yeah. Everything seems fine on my end.
SPY is now beneath 476. Let's see what happens if it can reclaim that, or if we keep going down.
That's kind of what I was watching SPY here for. Do we continue a breakdown, or do we just bounce around? Apple setting some new lows here. Interesting. I'm going to keep rolling through some of these tech names. Netflix has already started to bounce. Let's check some of the other ones. We talked a little bit about Meta. Meta's bouncing here. NVIDIA, interesting. Apple is not really. Let's take a look at
Buzz
Google.
Lightyear.
Johnny went short Google.
Buzz Lightyear mentioning PYPL, PayPal, showing some strength. Let's see if it goes to infinity and beyond.
Sweet. PayPal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well done.
It's been.
I liked your dad joke about Pete Carroll yesterday, by the way. I thought that one was choice.
So if anyone didn't catch the news, Pete Carroll's been. I guess they're saying he's been upgraded from head coach to advisor, whatever that means. So my thought is, well, I guess they could have continued to run with Pete Carroll, but instead they decided to pass. There you go. There's your dad
Only
joke.
they did that in the Super Bowl. If only they did that in the Super Bowl. Okay, SPY, the sell-off here is slowing down. We'll see if it takes the next leg or if it forms some type of tradable bottom here.
Speaking of that Super Bowl, Belichick is also out as head coach.
It's crazy. Yesterday, Nick Saban retiring. Michigan ended his career, by the way. And then today we have Belichick retiring. So two coaching legends retiring. I'll tell you, Belichick said he still wants to coach. We'll see if that ends up happening. Those two guys, who are friends, by the way, could open up a consulting firm and work for every team in college and NFL football. They got options. Okay. They got options. And one of the most magnificent runs in the NFL comes to an end as the 24-year tenure of Bill Belichick finally ends. PayPal here, definitely strong off this bounce. I see a little bit of size here at 61.10. We'll see if that ends up falling here.
PayPal still has a really good-looking daily chart. I still think we're looking at an inverse head and shoulders, and I have the neckline at about 64.30. So we're looking for a good breakout from that level at some point.
Yeah, I've got that same level right in here, 64.30. See if that does end up falling here.
LAES, new highs.
Okay, looking. Oh, let me bring that up. That was one from our list. I shouldn't have taken that off here. Then this is a nice little push there. And it's all that volume, right? We had this seller's volume. We had some low volume here. As soon as that volume kicked up, look what we did. We took that level out. We pushed higher. We took out the intraday high here. 252, your intraday high. It looks like someone refreshed the sale there at 250. I see even more size there at 250.
Smoke Tuna was mentioning Octo. Taking a look at that.
Yeah, I believe that's the penny stock that we took.
Yeah, it
is
is
one of the two penny stocks. That and Kit were your two penny stocks of the day here. Gary mentioning Google. We took a look at that earlier. This is GOOG. That is bouncing here finally. I think it was Johnny was shorting GOOGL. Trying to keep that straight here.
SPY back above 476 for the time being.
Yeah, SPY really held, excuse me, SPY really did a good job holding that low, that 476 level. I know we didn't hit it to the penny 13, but I think you're onto something here with 476. That is definitely held here so far.
Okay, I've been stopped out of Zim for a profit, so that was a good buy yesterday and out this morning.
Okay, nice job, nice trade, and kudos to you because you've been on that for more than just yesterday. That was several days in the making there on that Zim trade.
Oh, happy hour has been all over this with all different kinds of information. Just been absolutely great with the community.
I think the amazing thing is how early happy hour has been on some of those things. And that's
Super
not
early.
a credit to me. That's a credit to the people that attend, by the way, because I'm constantly trying to force the people that attend to bring things that they want to talk about. And they all seem early, like across the board. We seem early on all that. So good stuff. Dugan, nice to see you here on live trading. Hopefully you're doing well. It looks like you're looking at Wolf. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so this continues to break down. Let's see here. Let me actually zoom out here, see if we can find a spot. So the interesting thing here about Wolf is that we did end up breaking through yesterday's intraday high. I would have liked to have seen a stronger bounce here, maybe a move back to that VWAP, even if we couldn't reclaim it and trade higher. Now, the good news here is that the daily chart still looks pretty good. I really wouldn't want this to lose $2. I feel like if we lose $2 here, the chance of us breaking down to $1 are pretty high. Let's see if we can get this curl to maybe bring us back to 250 here. 221 currently on Wolf. All I see are red candles on the 3-minute chart. MACD is totally compressing. The signal lines are rolling over. Doesn't look like this has got strength yet.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned about Wolf. If we can't get a bounce pretty soon, we're going to start seeing some other larger time frame EMAs start crossing VWAP, and that's never a good sign.
Yeah, 220 here, some size at the support. We'll see if this gets chewed. They're hitting it. It's changing around. Jane is asking, what is happy?
There's a big bid
right
that came in at 220. It's not there anymore, but I just noticed it.
Yeah, no, they were hitting that. That's what I was saying. They were hitting that to the downside.
Okay.
I also see some more down there at 215 if we end up going down there. Looks like a battle's going on right here because I also keep seeing some size flashed in at 222. It looks like it's getting taken, but I can't tell if that order's fake or not. Now I see some more size here at 223, and that's getting taken. They refreshed it again.
Jane Smith, happy hour is a meeting of Benzinga Pro users that happens after the bell every Monday through Thursday. If you're not a pro subscriber, suggest giving it a shot and come check us out. It's a great group of people.
Yeah, and the one thing, I'll give you a little pro tip. Maybe I'm not supposed to do this, but we're going to do it just because it's fun. Pro tip here, of course, with Benzinga Pro, you can get a free trial. So what you can do is not only try out the platform itself, but you can also try out some of the ancillary things that are attached to it, like the happy hour program. So if you haven't tried Benzinga Pro, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do that. Check out the happy hour. Jay Wild mentioning MLEC. This is from the list here. MLEC is flying. Looks like we did actually find, good call here, Jay. We did find some support down here about 245, bounced to the VWAP. We moved through it and pulled back to the VWAP. I do see some size above it here, 262 and 269 with some of that size. Boy, this must have, I didn't see this happen, but this must have happened fast. 1 3-minute window, big volume pop there, but we already peeled back half of that candle.
Yeah, it's looking like the market's just kind of figuring out what to do next. Everything that I'm looking at is kind of a little bit sideways. Nothing popping that I'm seeing.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing here. And look, we talked about it earlier. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I wouldn't be shocked if this kind of comes in. Tesla continuing to break down. Lynn, you did a great job trading that bounce because that bounce has already evaporated. This returning to that 228 low entry that you got here. Be interesting to see if this bounces again from 228. You're welcome, Jane. And thanks for the kind words, Rich and Lynn. And Kenny, we've already said hello several times. I hope you're having a wonderful morning here. 228 coming here on Tesla. We'll see if this one holds.
Looks like Wolf's trying to recover. Still hasn't gone green yet, but it looks like it's trying to find the bottom. We'll have to wait and see what it does. I have about 35 seconds before the next 5-minute candle on that one.
Here come 228's coming here. We're going to see if we snap below here on Tesla. You know, I'm looking at the SPY here at the same time. The SPY is trying to bounce. So part of me wonders if Tesla's actually going to slow down here. Let's take a look at the Qs real quick. I'm going to come right back to Tesla. Qs are starting to bounce off that sell-off too. I wonder if Tesla catches here.
Poll being mentioned. It's
Poll,
moving.
Squawk from Poll. Thank you, Jay. When I'm traveling, I don't have Charlie on. So really appreciate the call outs in the chat from the Squawk, Jay. Keep that up if you can. Absolutely love that. And Market Mover saying smash that like. We really appreciate it. If you haven't liked and subscribed, go ahead and do that. Get notified when we go live.
NKTX, I didn't notice the move out of the gate this morning, but it had a pretty nice size move all the way up to 1033, and it's coming back in just below VWAP now. I don't know if there's more left in this, but it might be worth keeping on your radar.
We had a couple of pops yesterday too. It looks like those got sold.
Mm-hmm.
Tesla, mind of its own. So, okay, real quick on Tesla. I said I would go back to that. Started to get sidetracked. Lynn steering me back into the lane here. We did snap that 228. Let's see if this reclaims and then bounces. Jay saying Tesla, the name is broken. Broken, mind of its own. It's all the above. Tesla wild, and I think that's why people actually really like it. Roma still not available. I know that's a recent IPO here. Roma not available in Trade the Pool yet. But that did have a really. Let me actually bring that up on a different screen so I can take a look at that chart. Roma, wow, another good day. That by Crow yesterday. Looks like this is going to try to go higher here, Roma.
Okay, now CAN is now selling off. I'm going to take a look at Bitcoin to see if we're getting any down moves in that. Looks like we're looks like we're pulling back off of the 49,000 level. But because of the way this formation looks, I'd say that it's trying to just cool off before it can make the next run above 49,000. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. If it gets below 48, then I'm not so sure.
Roma selling off here. I'm kind of just watching the action here on Roma since it just looks interesting. Nice little pull here after setting that high. We'll see if this actually retakes the highs. I wouldn't be shocked if it did, to be quite honest. Coming back in off this most recent move here. VWAP on Roma's 511 if you guys are trading this.
Wolf making newer lows. Still no green candle yet. Zim went down pretty handily. If it gets to 1310, I may take another stab at it. Okay.
Let me bring Zim up here while I'm watching Roma on a different chart.
There's actually a huge order to buy at 1294 in Zim, so that might be interesting. I'm going to just set a buy limit at 13 and see what happens, and 1310.
This Roma action volume is contracting here a little bit, but there's still really, really impressive volume candles. Don't have a feel for this one yet.
Yeah, lots of red candles on all the ones we've been talking about this morning.
I'm wondering if things turn over. Tesla's continuing to trade lower here. SPY now moving lower here as well. It looked like that was going to try to hold in and move lower here. Apple at the lows.
Yeah, more investors and traders coming on this morning going, uh-oh.
Yep. I think you're exactly right.
CPI is not what we were hoping for.
I think you're exactly right on that. Tell you what, if you're quick on Roma, there's all types of scalping opportunities in this name here. I am a bit nervous though. It does kind of feel like it's a little bit heavy. No, looks like we're going to try and set some new highs now. God, this Roma, this was a masterful call by Crow yesterday.
Okay, got filled on one of my orders for Zim. See if we get a rebound here, or if I get my other order filled before we it interacts with that 100,000 share order at 1294. So far, I'm slightly positive. This was a play on the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. That's why I was placing my orders around that area.
Okay, awesome. Wow, smoked tuna riding Roma from 380. That's a nice little overnight swing there on Roma. Smoked tuna, let's go.
Wolf looking like it's rebounding. There's a good amount of bids at 215 on Wolf. Maybe we do reverse if that can hold up.
Yep, and there's a little bit of size there at 220, which would help give it the juice.
Now, LAES is still above VWAP on my broker chart. And
Roma new highs. Roma big pop to new highs here on Roma. Sorry, I'm just watching. I'm intrigued by the price action here.
It's okay. You're not the only one that interrupted me because LAS went right through VWAP as I was talking about it. So maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
Definitely not. LAES back down here to VWAP. Let's see. I got size there at 240 again. Roma still flirting with that 6 level. Not trading Roma here, but watching the price action. Tesla continuing to break down. SPY next leg lower. Apple following.
Yep. Wolf going down to
coming here. Yep.
Oh wow, SPY through 475. Now things are getting really, really scary.
473 next there, I believe.
Yep, that's the next level I have.
Jay, this is an interesting thing. This is one of the things that I've been watching here this morning. No active trades on this. Jay saying Bitcoin. Notice how the actual Bitcoin holding is staying strong, but the derivatives are rolling over like Coin and Mara. Let's take a look at those. Actually, this Roma is very, very interesting. We're going to be coming back to Roma, I suspect. I think this might be on here. Bitcoin actually at 48.5 here. It looks like that's rolling over a little, but let's take a look at some of these derivative names here. Mara, you could see the rollover much more pronounced in these names, much more pronounced. This is actually one of the reasons why I don't even mess around with this. Just kind of hold the coins. We'll see what happens. I want to see what coin looks like. Mara is in fact red. That's wild. Coin red too. Lots of selling in coin.
Can now touching its 200 EMA and looking to reverse. Not sure that it does, but the 200 EMA definitely a bounce spot. Might this be a dead cat bounce though?
Okay.
Yeah, those EMAs, those big EMAs in particular, you get some pretty good bouncing price action. I mean, if you look at CAN on the 5-minute chart
pop here.
Oh, nice. If you look at CAN on the 5-minute chart this morning out of the gate, we went down to that 200 EMA and bounced right back up and had this huge green candle following. So these longer time frame EMAs, they really do get some serious bouncing. And now we're bouncing with off that again with CAN, and we're going to come up to the 65, I believe.
Yep, here we go.
Spec is actually looking like it's trying to reverse. I am
nice bounce. This was a good call.
I'm completely in my Zim position again, but it doesn't look like it's working too good for the moment. I'll set a stop. Let me see. Set a stop at about 270. That'll be decent for risk tolerance for me.
Zim, nice or big rollover here. I was going to say a nice big rollover, but that doesn't make sense.
Okay, Spec is now back above 3, and we're starting to get some volume in this one. Got some size coming in.
Oh, yeah, it is. So we're closing that VWAP. Yeah, I think you might be right here, 13. We're going back to the VWAP here.
LAES tested VWAP again, still trying to hold above it. At this point, we might be starting to see reversals because I'm looking at the SPY and it's trying to come back up too. And it's also got a very low RSI on the 5-minute chart, so there could be a possible reversal to move back up to 476. I'll have to see.
Spec's trying here.
Yeah,
market's still moving lower, still weak here.
Who's going to blink first, the Bulls or the Bears?
Yeah, that's a good question. Seems like Buzz seems like Buzz Lightyear. Seems like everything is selling off here. It's what it sure looks like. Your SPY new low is 474 here, SPY.
Yeah. I'm going to 473. That's the level for me.
This would be a time. Okay, so Jay, someone that likes trading the bigger names here, when you're watching the market behave like this, what's your strategy for identifying potential trades? Or do you wait it out? Do you wait it out until it feels like it's more tradable, more easy for you to digest? What's your strategy here when you're watching a pretty pronounced sell-off like this, some of these bigger names? Tesla 226 continuing lower here. Again, great job, Lynn, earlier yanking some money out of that before we turned over here. Great play on that first bounce. Just don't give it back.
LAES looking like it's getting some strength.
LAES doing a decent job here holding at its VWAP.
Can might go through the 200 EMA if yeah, I think it might.
Let's take a look at Can. How you folks doing out there? How's everyone doing out there? Smash up the like for my man 13. No give backs here, period. Lynn drawing a line in the sand. I love it. Dugan saying Wolf, new lows here on Wolf. You know, Wolf actually might have a bounce spot here coming up on 210, Dugan. I'd be interested to see if we slow down here. I have the low print, intraday low print of the day at 212. I wouldn't be shocked if we maybe took that out, bounced 210, 209, 208, somewhere in there. We'll see. That daily chart still looking pretty good here. Maybe it's just figuring out the price range here on Wolf.
Update from Kari and happy hour chat. The SPY is hitting the 38 fib.
Okay.
So it might be some kind of bounce coming. Watch for that. Looks like Wolf is trying to get his first green candle in the past 30 minutes. But
yep, sure does.
We'll see.
And actually, if we take a look here, we got a question about the MACD yesterday. MACD here, the MACD histogram on this 3-minute chart here with this Wolf green candle here, this bullish looking candle, I should say. You can see that the MACD histogram is starting to compress. So if we get that, maybe we actually get a potential trade here on Wolf. I'd like to know what Smoke Tuna thinks about a potential entry down here on Wolf. Jay saying, Ryan, you had a chance to sell pre-market, also turn any calls into spreads. It's a decent 3-day move into the CPI, into pre-market. I think you meant CPI, yeah.
Can still holding the 200 EMA. Wolf looking better. Spec, not so much.
Wolf, the size here on Wolf, if we start bouncing here, the two levels that we're going to need to actually have some action at here, we talked about volume telling the story. Volume's going to need to tell the story here. 220's got some size. 224 has even more size. Here we are at 220. Let's see what happens here on Wolf.
Is it Buzz Lightyear with a good strategy? Sit on your hands until you see something better. That's always good. Yeah, Wolf and Can are looking like they're trying to turn around.
Wolf's taken some of that 220. Couldn't take it all, but took a big chunk of it.
Looks like we're getting a reversal in the SPY as well. It's got a green candle for the time being on the 5-minute.
Yeah, it's trying.
Mm-hmm.
Bitcoin is trying to bounce here as well. Bears are in control this morning on CPI, says Nick. It would appear to be so.
Yep.
Tesla also trying to put in a bounce here. We'll see that. I want to see that. I want to confirm that these bounces are not short-lived bounces. That's the big thing that I'm looking for here. Wolf really couldn't clear out that 220. Still the size at 222.
Yeah, if the dip gets bought in the SPY, we probably could see a reversal in these other smaller names too.
Lynn saying it feels like an early down day on news and then a bounce. Looks like that's what you're watching for. Lynn, that's kind of what we've seen over several sessions here. We really haven't had one of those days where everything just sells off all day.
Yeah, that might be tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say market looking weak here. Even some of the other swings, SSYS, Portillo's, all of them down.
Okay, LAES is trying to do so. Okay, now the SPY is starting to give us a bit of a more solid green candle, and it looks like other things are starting to reverse too. LAES, ZIM's trying to reverse. Wolf is still kind of hanging around with a neutral candle. Can broke down.
LAES has really done a good job here at the VWAP.
Mm-hmm.
That's really been the tell. We still have those levels that we talked about. I know that the intraday high here is 252, but there's still size at 250 and likely 260. I don't have a 14-minute chart set up. Smoke tuna.
Zim trying to reclaim 13. Not me, the number.
See if there's a way I can do some of this.
Well, what is the market waiting for? Volume has really dropped off. What is everybody seeing out there? C4, Nick Sanders? Let me take a look at that. That one's been just awesome for the past 2 weeks. Okay.
14.
So C4 sold off this morning, and we got it had a big red candle about 10 minutes ago, and now it seems to be reversing, headed back up to VWAP where we're at right about now.
So Wolf does look like it's actually slowing down here on the 14-minute. Whoa.
LAES might get a good move up here on the 9 EMA crossing VWAP. I'm watching that to happen now. Zim retook 13 as well.
That Bitcoin bounce looks like that's over. We're still making a move back down to the VWAP here on Bitcoin.
Good job on Roma. That's a nice chunk of change.
425 to 595 on Roma. Nice job, Jay Summers. That Roma did kind of come back to the view. Is this halted here, Roma? 625? Looks like it.
Let me take a look. That's what I got.
Yep.
So that may mean that we see halts to the upside. Bracket order time.
LAES really doesn't have, not showing the strength here to get above the top end of that range. LAES.
Nope. Need a little bit more volume for that one to do a breakout.
Easy Mike, good morning. In Biddy, so you're trading one of those Bitcoin ETFs. This is the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. This is bouncing here. Would like to know what your entry is there. Roma at 648 at halt. I have 625 here. Smoke tuna. Not sure what you mean by that.
Starting to see recovery in some of these names and the SPY. SPY went back up above 474.
Easy Mike, your Lab D trade. We've actually seen biotech be pretty strong recently. Your Lab D trade, that's just a regression to the mean. Look at the daily chart here. Lab D's pretty much done nothing but sell off. Is that the strategy there? Went long. Boy, you're trading natural gas. Good luck on the Widowmaker. Oh, Roma on the level 2, it shows 649. I gotcha. Yeah, I suspect our level 2 look different. You know, Lab D might go higher here.
Zim not with looking like the greatest formation here on my 5-minute chart. It's kind of getting a bit of a bear flag going. So I'm going to set a stop just below my entry. And
give me those numbers again. I got the Zim chart up.
My entry is a 1305.
Okay.
I'm just gonna set my stop right beneath there.
Okay.
So now I can't lose on this one.
Yep, and we'll see if we keep bouncing here on Zim and expand those profits for you.
Now it's up to the 200 EMA. Looking for a break of that. Going to slightly raise my stop so I can get a little bit of profit.
Good morning, Hitesh.
Spec trying to get back above 3 again. Still in that one. And that's the only 2 that I'm in right now.
Spec volume not as impressive as I was hoping. I was hoping for some more in that.
And Zim got a pop and drop to the 200 EMA,
here.
and I got a little bit of profit, so I'm out of Zim now.
Okay, good job. SPY bouncing off that 273.50 handle here, up $1 off that bottom.
Wow, look at that SPY move. Yeah, just waiting for spec to work its thing. My levels seem to be pretty good for the time being. Won't be stopped out of this one until under 250.
Jay mentioning Chesapeake, CHK. I used to trade that when it was single digits. They must think they got SWN for a bargain. The Widowmaker merger, CHK and SWN. I didn't play this merger at all.
Yeah, I wish I had. SWN is something that I've traded in the past because it's a great company, and now they just got acquired by another good company. So that's a good merger, I think.
Ryan Milligan saying tempted to buy Bristol Myers around 50. My last trade on Bristol Myers didn't work well, but I've actually had some pretty good success with this name here. 50 looks like some pretty decent support here. If we take a look at the daily chart here, I mean, I have the bottom of these candles technically at 49.50, but $50 looks like a pretty decent support level here. It already broke through that, tried to bounce off about 48 here. Looks like we might be returning to the lows. Let's see what happens here at 50. What's your time frame there on that, Ryan? Is that a shorter term trade, or are you adding for a long term swing, or maybe even an investment? We'll check out B Cell as well, Smoke Tuna.
Also, Easy Mike is he was mentioning to Beachbum Trading, United Health, and I believe that's Humana. United Health reports tomorrow. Does Humana report as well tomorrow? Let me take a look at the calendar. No, they report in February.
Wolf continuing to break down here. Smoke Tuna says Wolf going for 2. Boy, that has been weak. We talked about this last time, and this potentially trying to curl here. Next leg down coming here on Wolf. We'll see where we finally bounce. 206, your low print of the day. Roma is open, 673 high, pulling back off that high, down 40 cents on Roma.
Yeah, this. That's why I have a bracket order. That's why I do bracket orders for those anyway.
Yeah,
did not play it today this time though.
That makes sense. I mean, when they're too fast, you might as well have a plan on each side.
Mm-hmm.
All right, folks, it is 10:21 here. If you've enjoyed this so far, smash up the like for my man 13. Smash up the like for Gil and Trade the Pool. And smash up the like for the market and all of the snow outside here in Detroit.
Zim still above 13, still below the 200 EMA, but coming up to it. I'm just not sure about Zim at this moment because of the pattern formation that it has on the 5-minute. I'd rather not do it right now. I'd rather wait for more downside below 13.
You don't want to lose 1285 though on this, right? I mean, I feel like you'd have more downside coming if you lost that. 1280, 1285. Yeah.
Wouldn't make a difference to me. I'm not in it.
Okay.
I already got stopped out from the last bounce that I played, so I'm 2 for 2 on Zim, but I'm just going to wait and see what happens. Yeah. Yeah, some of these other names are just really breaking down. What's Bitcoin at now? Okay, now it's beneath 48K. So we're headed down, folks. 47,000 is the next support that I have for Bitcoin.
Let's see how some of those names are holding up here, like Coin lower. So these are all just kind of moving lower. Yep. God, Mara, big pull. Another leg down too. And
you got to understand, like some of these have really, really run like big time. So
yeah. I mean, look at the daily chart here on Merit, dude. I mean, look at this. Look at this.
Yeah.
That went vertical.
Yeah.
This went to 31, pulled back to 20, and here we are back at 25. So this gives you an idea of how volatile these actually are. Quantum says, Ryan, why is Natty Gas called the Widowmaker? Because the instruments used to trade it are all over the place. You can wake up one day, be up 10%. wake up the next day, be down 10%. I mean, if you watch Boyle, which is the levered ETF, you'll see that thing has been reverse split a whole bunch. It's all over. It's traders more experienced and have more years of service than I have dubbed it the Widowmaker. I've watched it. I haven't been able to figure it out, so I just kind of rolled it forward.
Yeah, it's kind of like the SQQ where it just, constantly keeps going down, but has these pop ups, but eventually it continues to go down and get diluted.
Yeah, it's a degrading asset on those levered ones. Real quick, Jay Rice, this makes me feel real good because I've been saying this for years. Jay Rice saying Christian Fromhertz and Red Dog said stick with the Bitcoin, not the derivatives. 100% agree. In fact, when it comes to the coins, I don't even trade the coins. I literally just hodl them. Just hold on to them and actually expose yourself to the coins themselves. So like I've mentioned before, some of these connections here to the derivatives are dubious. You want to use them as trading vehicles, that's fine. But in terms of actually Bitcoin exposure, hold the coins. I would agree with Fromhertz and Red Dog. Two top traders, by the way. If you don't follow them, you should. You got it, Quantum. Did Wolf find a bottom? Good question. Let's take a look here. That has done nothing but take legs down here. Maybe we did bounce off that 206. What do we have here? Could
be a potentially reversing candle. It's
more neutral. I want to see some green volume candles confirm that 13. Yeah, that's what I want here. I mean, even just now, the candle that we're currently in this 3-minute window just flashed back to red. Was green, just flashed back to red. SPY is bouncing here, by the way, so that looked like they were actually getting some type of a bounce here. We'll see if we roll back over 13. We bounced back to 475. I've got VWAP at 476. Be interesting to see if we can get up there or if we turn back around.
Yeah, I think 476 is going to be resistance now. We had that switch from support to resistance, earlier when we broke down beneath it. So if we do get back up there, the volume would have to really come in to get up and stay above it. But I think we might get smacked down.
Jay and Easy Mike, you folks have been around the block a few times, and I mean that in a good way. You have heard Widowmaker being used for nat gas in the past, have you not? I'm not alone in that, am I? I don't think so.
You can avoid the whole Widowmaker thing if you're just not married. That was a bad joke.
That's truth.
Okay, so Zim is still moving up through the 200 EMA. Maybe I shouldn't have been so bearish on the trade, but we'll see how this plays out. I still think that this bear flag pattern formation doesn't look good to me. I think we might get some more downside, though.
Sure have, says Jay. See, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one.
Can is trying to get back above 200 EMA. It got rejected. It got rejected.
Can it, though?
Yeah. Okay, LAES is looking like it could break out here.
Yeah, we've seen this story several times here today. Let's see if we actually get it. 250, still that spot. 252, still that intraday high print with size.
Thank you for compliment, Quantum. I love watching all this stuff. This is all fascinating to me.
So I'm a self-described stock nerd, right? Like I enjoy, even if I'm not trading something, I'll enjoy watching the action, kind of, building my memory for that particular vehicle.
Yep.
Have at least got rid of the triple leverage nat gas ETFs. I think they blew up 2-3 years ago. I thought Boyle was 3x. Is it only 2x? Boyle? Oh, that, you know what? That one's not in here. Maybe that's only 2x. ProShares 2, ProShares Trust 2 Ultra Bloomberg ETF. It doesn't say in there. But Jay, you're probably right.
Yeah, I think we're about to see LAES take off.
Tesla, decent bounce here. I wonder if Lynn grabbed that. Johnny mentioning that Lily is going up fast here. Lily has just been an absolute beast. We might that might not be over either with all the weight loss drugs and all the stuff that's going to go on this year with that. We've talked quite a bit about that. Here we go on, by the way, on LAES. Took out that 250 and that 252. I do see that size at 260, 13. Some of it looks like it was spread down to 259.
That consolidation holding above VWAP for the most part. And then we had that 9 EMA crossing. That was the signal for me. And look at that. Taking off.
$255 your high print now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Smoke Tuna saying B cell holding up. Take a look at that one again.
That is a penny stock, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they're mentioning it, so I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, no, for sure. Just giving context. 255, your intraday high here on LES. This is getting hit here. Let's see if this falls. Remember, 259, 260 is going to have your next size on the way up if we pop. Holding a bag on LAES, I cannot mention my average. You're amongst friends here, Smoke Tuna. You can. Big size on the offer on LAES. That might drive it higher here. New highs now, LAES. Coming up to that resistance area here, 259, 260 on LAES.
I don't know what LES does, but
Lily was mentioned in the JP Morgan San Francisco conference. Okay. When was that, Sid? Do you remember? So Quantum saying if you position yourself correctly in a depreciating asset, you can put the depreciation in your pocket by going short. So you know what's interesting about that, Quantum, is that we've actually had the discussion a lot of times with some of the trading veterans. I mean, and when I say veterans, I'm talking multiple decades of experience. One of the things that they've talked about are one of the most profitable trades are shorting both sides of the levered ETF because they'll never end up equaling each other. They will always continue to degrade. Now, it can be difficult to do that. I've never done that, but that's, one of those better trades. So if you were taking a look at, let's say, trying to think of some of the SOXS and the SOXL. If you short both sides in a year, you'll be profitable. There might be some period where it's running against you and your risk profile in your account is going to determine whether or not you can stay in that trade. So it's not as if it's a guaranteed win or anything like that, but because you're trading degrading assets, if you're short them, it should work in your favor.
Zim now coming up to VWAP. If it breaks through that, then I made a mistake and got out way too early. But if not, then I'll still be looking for downside.
Thankfully, you can rebuy if you need to.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
UVXY, the ultimate depreciating asset. Jay, I learned that the hard way. Trying to play volatility. I call it donating to the volatility fund. I don't care for trading volatility. I like having volatility, especially when I'm trading well, but I don't like trading those VIX tickers. I have lost so much money to that UVXY, whether it was a hedge or I was trying to time something in the market or whatever the case is. Just not successful with that.
Speaking of volatility, I'm going to go and look at the VIX because I haven't checked that out since yesterday.
VIX popped above 13 and came right back into almost 1250.
Okay. Yeah, we need to really start clearing 14 and get above that and stay above it in order for there to be some decently sized selling, in my opinion. Spec going to try to finally break 3. I'll have to wait and see.
Actually, this actually looks like this might be a bottom here, 13. We're not getting that V. It looks like we're kind of getting this messy bottom here, and maybe it actually clears out this range here. This looking pretty decent as long as it stays above 3.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm starting to
like only one 3-year chart is worse than UVXY, and it's Mullen. Oh, oh, Jay.
Why choose the name 13, Smoke Tuna? Because that is my suffix. I'm the 13th.
When you have a power name like Joe, you got to keep sending that down the line.
Oh, knock it off.
For Lily, Sydney was mentioning for Lily, NVO mentioned as having a head start with the obesity. So their drug, that's Novo Nordisk, right? And you're talking about their drug being approved for weight loss. That's the head start that you're mentioning. Let me actually see if I can pull that up. Let me take a look at that, because we talked about that, but I didn't actually look into that, and that's on me. That's a me problem. Let's take a look here at NVO.
There we go. Zim's now getting hit. Didn't get back to VWAP. This is more along the lines of what I was looking for in this bear flag formation.
Roma might be starting another bounce here. We looks like we bounced off the VWAP. Roma might be moving back towards the highs here.
Yeah, Roma got a nice. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say Roma got a nice move up when it crossed the 9 EMA across VWAP. Now we're about to have the 15 EMA across VWAP, so we could see some more upside. If well, that's going to happen. We could see some more upside. I'm anticipating that on that crossing.
Just kind of watching the Roma action here. Sorry, holler if you need it. Mara breaking down, says Ryan Milligan. Oh, here, I was going to check that Novo Nordisk now that this loaded up.
Okay, here we go. Roma's moving. Well, slightly.
Yep, sure.
673 is the high I have on that, so I think that's where we're looking at getting taken out. That number.
Yeah, 673 is what I got as well.
Zim trying to hold above the 200 EMA. I'd like to see it break down. So it looks like for me, just 2 of 2 with 1 still working. That's where I'm at today.
Okay, that's not too bad.
No,
not at all. Pfizer's outlook.
Not looking good in Roma,
you mean?
Roma, yeah, sorry.
I was like, Tony Romo, what's he doing out here?
Oh boy, sorry.
I'm sorry I don't have Roma in Trade the Pool. Still kind of watching NVO here.
I like Romo as a announcer more than I like him as a quarterback.
Okay. You're not I can't believe Texas boy, not a Cowboys fan. That I guess is surprising to me.
Well, we have the Texans, sir.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I thought everybody in Texas rooted for the Cowboys, whether they're Texans fans or not. Okay, You're learning something every day here.
No, but I am happy that we have 2 Texas teams in the playoffs. That's very prideful.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Okay, so Romo's not looking too good with that crossing. Let's see if
yeah, this might. I'll tell you what though, 13. I'm looking at the action here on the level 2. It actually looks like that might have just taken a break there, because we continue to try. Like it pulls a little bit, but it keeps trying to trade back up here. I actually wouldn't. This might not be over yet. And
you're right.
Maybe we.
You're right. There's still 2.5 minutes left in this candle. So yeah, you're right. I'm probably just being a little early. I really just want to see Zim break down, because we talk about this one all the time, and I think this is a great trading vehicle for the situation that's the geopolitical and macroeconomic situations that are happening right now. So
take care of yourself, Voodoo.
Take care, Voodoo.
Smoke Tuna saying Roma 1 hour looks like it's trying to make a bullish pattern. Coming back down to 6 here. We do have VWAP down at, let's see where that VWAP is at, 557. So it could really kind of break down here further.
On the 1 hour for Roma, I see the 65 EMA rejected the price in the first hour, and now it's also been rejected in this second hour that we're in. I'd be looking for a break out of the 65 EMA, which I have at 639, 640 ish. So we might get it too. Now that
oh my gosh, yeah, no, you're right. That looked like that pull that got bought here, and they actually brought some. I actually see some buying crossing the tape here too on the time and sales.
Yeah, so Don't listen to me when I'm thinking it might go down. It still looks okay.
Hey, we're figuring it out just like everybody else. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Here, I'm going to get you. Let me see if I can. Oh, I took this. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here is your Roma. We'll watch the action here together in Pro since we don't have Roma. Looking at what chart is this? 1 minute actually has a bullish pattern too, but that changes depending on which way the wind is blowing.
Go back to SPY, see how we're doing there. We're above 475 now.
10:40 here. We're going to be ending in about 20 minutes. Smash up the like for my man 13. We got a CPI morning here driving the market. We are trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, and PPI tomorrow, like you said. And bank earnings. Bank earnings, gosh, we got to really pay close attention to what they're going to say in those. I think that's going to kind of set the pace for the whole year, I think.
Agreed. And to be clear, I'm not playing those earnings, just to be clear.
I own Bank of America and JP Morgan in my long-term portfolio, so hoping for not too much bad news.
Roma looking to lose 6 here.
Those bank stocks have run pretty handily recently, so pullback is okay. Roma, yeah, looks like it's starting to curl to the downside.
And real quick here, at 11, we are going to be having our AI Revolution 2024 portfolio building with 2 expert guest speakers. So following our show here at 11, it's going to be the AI virtual event. Make sure you stick around for that. Makes sense of AI here. Okay, I took my eyes off Roma for 1 second. I look back. Looks like it's curling back up here on Roma.
Yeah.
630 probably is that spot that it's got to get through first. And then what do we have here? Yeah, 630 looks right above it. 630, 646 is what I've got off the chart.
Yeah, I see the size at 640. Based on the recent price action, looks like 650 is a good level too to break over.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about Zim right now. It's been sideways. Yeah, looks like a lot of volumes left the market.
Well, I'll tell you what, even so, when we sat down here in the pre-market, we said, I don't know how much stuff we're going to have here today. We ended up getting quite a bit of issues here as well as the broader market. So a decent day here. I know I kind of started off with, I got stopped out of a trade there, but given everything that's going on here, not a terrible day so far. And I actually like to see where we finish here today ahead of those bank earnings. I'm going to be really excited if we start to get more volume entering the market on a regular basis here with some of those bank earnings. Smoke Tuna saying Wolf $2 is here. So I continue to break down to that 2 level.
Man, Wolf just straight down. Okay, Zim with a bit of pullback. That's what I want to see. Looks like all these names just really starting to just kind of sell off. Anybody seeing anything that's up? Hey, Kenny, how's it going?
I mean, I'm still watching Roma here. It looks like we're going to try to break down beneath through 6. So it really couldn't take that. We're trading back and forth here. Really couldn't take that next leg up or down here. So I would imagine the longer we stay coiled in here, the more likely we are to actually pop out of this. Looks like it's holding that 6. Okay, now we just snapped 6 to the downside here. Looks like we're coming in a little bit quickly here on Roma. Now, last time it did this, it bounced. Sorry, 13.
It's okay. I was going to say, thanks for the emoji, Quantum. If you're, it looks like you're making money. I'm happy to hear that. If you guys are making money, then I'm happy.
Yeah, that's how it is here. We are all on the same boat there. If you guys are making money, we're doing it. Roma reclaimed 6, but looking iffy here. Let's see if it's got the strength to hold above 6, or if we break down here. I got VWAP at 560.
Okay, so Zim now trading beneath the 200 EMA. I want to see this thing break beneath 1285. That would be what I want to see. I want some weakness in Zim so I can get back in it. I want more weakness. I like the weakness. That's where I buy. Man, LAES. This thing's probably going to go even higher. It's got some. Well, it had some bids coming in, but LAES new daily highs. This is the one we should have been.
Here is flirting with 6.
Yeah, this is the one I should have been in from the get-go because we've been talking about it the whole time, and it's been looking really good.
It's tough though because it really wasn't giving us that sign that it wanted to move up here. It keeps, it was wicking to the upside before finally popping through it.
Next 5-minute candle on LAES in about 10 seconds, and then we might get either some more upside or a slight pull.
I see the size shifting around a little bit on that level 2 here. 272 has the biggest block. Oh, never mind. 270.
Yeah.
Tesla looks like that might be rolling over again as well.
Quantum saying Nike. Take a look at Nike.
Yeah, we can take a look at Nike real quick.
Okay.
Roma lost 6. Let us know. Shout out if Roma retakes 6 here in the next 15 minutes. Here is your Nike.
Nike had a nice pop this morning, came back in, went beneath VWAP. Now it's back above. We might see Nike go higher here as these EMAs start crossing VWAP again, but they would have to hold VWAP first, in my opinion.
Jay is saying, Ryan, I'm long a few Carvana puts. So Carvana to the downside here. Also short SPY through the call spreads that you sold early. You told us about that one here early. So good positioning here today, Jay. I like that Carvana put. What kind of target do you have on Carvana, by the way? So and do you think that the short interest angle to the Carvana story is over? That the short squeeze that we've kind of been talking about with that name, the high short interest name. Looks like Carvana, if this could lose 45, this probably goes lower here.
I must be missing something because the target rate probabilities for a March rate cut are now higher, so which means that the 30-day Fed funds futures are trading higher. I'm not sure what's going on with that, why they think that we're getting rate cuts in March. That's a big disconnect, in my opinion.
Yeah, mine too. I don't know.
I'm going to check this.
They brought in some size here. Selling size on Roma at 590. That might be the death blow. Here comes the plunge.
I'm sorry, which one, Roma?
Roma. Yep, that might have been it. Let's see what happens when it gets to VWAP here. That was a big order that they kind of flashed in there. Now they're trying to bounce it, but we haven't got that. Let's see if we take that to the upside. 590 is that order. Or is that size? Let's see if they take. We're bounced back up to 589 here. Let's see if I would say we're on it. Let's see if they take it here. Not yet. Oh my God, they took it and it's popping. Wow, Roma, this is wild. Now through 6. Uh-oh. I might go dizzy. I might go dizzy staring at that name. That is wild. Jay, to answer the question there, personally, I think Carvana is a complete fraud. I like it down to 40. Okay, well, there you go. No wonder you're short on that.
Yeah, car vending machines. Who would have thought?
Yeah, I mean, God, can you? I just car vending. I don't think I'd. Well, maybe I would. I don't know.
It's funny because I do see some cars on the road from time to time, and they have the Carvana license plate, and I was like, okay, so bracket. You bought one.
Yep, the license plate bracket. Well, you're not the only one that's been wrong on Carvana, Jay. That thing had massive short interest for the long, and it probably still does. Let me check Pro here. And that's the other. That's the one. The one downside here is that when I'm not on my normal setup, I don't have all of my nifty tools at my fingertips. Roma, by the way, that looks like that they took that size out here. It just immediately rolled back over. So Carvana, let's check the short interest here on Carvana real quick.
Wow.
Carvana, as of the last update, which was effective January 10th, that was yesterday, 48% of the float shorted there and 3.2 days to cover. So days to cover a little bit low, but still a lot of the float shorted there on Carvana. So you're not the only one that thinks it's a fraud, Jay.
That's the highest short interest we've had since July.
Yeah.
When did this thing start turning around? I think there could be a correlation to the time. Let me take a look. I'll get back to you.
Carvana stopped at its VWAP here too. Jay, I like that. Quantum saying maybe banks will miss and set tech up for a big run. I heard credit card payment defaults is up, but everyone is employed. I'm looking to short credit card companies.
I think the big short is the buy now pay later stocks.
Yeah, that's what I've thought that for a while too, but I've been wrong on a firm so far.
Well, that could probably change now. Especially if the idea is we're going to see rate cuts much further out into the future than some of these March people think. So yeah, Carvana started really taking off in June and then accelerated in July. So I think there could be a correlation with the high short interest. This is getting a pullback on the daily. We're coming down to where the 500 SMA and the 50-day SMA are at about just above $40. Maybe we see another short squeeze at some point because the RSI is starting to get pretty low on this one. We're about 45, which is a nominal level. Once we start getting into the low 30s and under 30, which it did back in November, that's going to be a good signal for it to turn around. Oh, did you just say that? I'm sorry, Jay. Okay, you did. I'm sorry. I didn't even pay attention to the chat. I'm very sorry. But yes, I like it down to 40 as well.
Yeah, Jay, he'll correct you.
That's okay.
He'll correct you quick.
No, gotta
Roma looks like
Roma
looks like that might be done here. That's completely rolling over. For Roma, we'll leave it at this. VWAP here at 561, currently at 581. Does not have a lot of strength there. So good job earlier, Tuna. Let me know when you do exit that or if you're going to continue swinging that for a day or two here. Roma looks like it might be done intraday. Going to need some more buying volume, or that thing is toast.
PayPal is also part of the buy now, pay later. And I mentioned that I didn't like that on the fundamental side, but the technicals look like it's got an inverse head and shoulders. So not quite sure what to make of that one. But Bread Financial, BFH, that's another buy now, pay later that could get hit from.
Here is your inverse head and shoulders right here. Your left shoulder, right shoulder, and your head on PayPal. Interestingly, PayPal gap up to that 72.5 too. Roma for a swing. So you're just still going to hold this overnight again. Cut.
All right, now we're getting a breakdown in Zim. I want to see it going to 13. That'd be good. I'm still waiting for spec to happen. I don't want to make the same mistake I did yesterday with CMND because that one ended up turning positive later in the day, and I did a bit of the revenge trading to claw back some of the losses I got in that one.
Yeah, I gotcha.
So I'm probably just going to wait and see what happens with spec. I'll have a stop beneath 250. But this one could still turn around later today. So I'm going to watch that.
The one thing I'm looking at here is that the level that it's at right now, it's definitely doing some price discovery. Right? We're going back and forth here. We're really not breaking out or breaking down. VWAP's still above here by about 40 cents. So if this does get going here, you might actually be able to move back towards that VWAP.
Yep.
All right, folks, we got about 7 minutes left here. Smash up the like for my man, 13. Absolutely love it. 13, thanks so much for jumping on, trading it. And
sure.
Finally got our data. Looks like we're getting our volume in the market. We'll see where we end up finishing here today.
Well, with the last few minutes, I'll just go over some of the research I was doing on GitLab.
Let's do it. I'll bring up the chart while you're doing that too.
So, this is GitLab is one of these DevOps companies where it's like a fully integrated developer tools and other resources thing that's kind of like the whole package. Very different from GitHub, which is not under the same ownership. GitHub actually belongs to Microsoft. And they're more into code sharing, collaboration, research. They're kind of like the LinkedIn for devs. GitLab is more developer operations. Now, what's interesting, because I was speaking to my wife about this, because she's a software engineer, she knows about GitLab, but she actually uses Azure DevOps, which again is Microsoft. This industry seems to be headed in the direction as small companies grow, they'll start to move into these larger DevOps companies, because what happens is smaller companies will begin by starting with smaller, more niche software for their operations and software manufacturing. And as they grow, they start to bring on other pieces of software. After a certain period of time, the licensing and the cost just gets to be, and having to manage passwords, it gets to be too cumbersome. So they end up switching over to GitLab. And I think that's one of the things that Benzinga ended up doing, was moving over to a much more broader DevOps.
Yeah, I mean, just for we basically tried to consolidate, right? And I think that gave us the best suite of tools that we needed for our usage.
And so when I look at this and I see that we have now a headwind with interest rates, I'm inclined to believe that a lot of these small companies that would want to go to GitLab are probably not going to be able to afford it. And it's also going to affect GitLab as well, because that's just what interest rates do on these software companies. Not to say that this is the end of GitLab. I think this is just going to be a short-term hiccup for them. I think ultimately this one and a lot of their competitors are going to do really well. Their competitors being Microsoft. There's another company that's pretty close to our competitor called, let me just get it's called Atlassian. I think you're familiar with that one as well.
Yep.
Ticker Team. And then you have some of the really big names that have their some pretty big DevOps tools, like Amazon, IBM. IBM has Red Hat. Broadcom, AVGO, they use VMware. And then you also have JFrog. There's also a number of private companies that do really well. Circle CI, they have good pipelines and a big library. JetBrains, they have good software, but they're very expensive. And then I don't have a whole lot of information on CloudBees, but they're also another company. One of the things that I noticed when I looked at their fundamentals is that they took, it looked like they took a pretty big hit in their last earnings. But when I looked at their 8K, it's actually just a tax provision, because they operate in Europe and as well as the United States. So they set aside a tax provision for, I'm trying to think of what the word for it is. It's abbreviated APA. I'm sorry. Let me see if I can bring up what that is, because I thought I wrote it down, but it looks like I didn't. But I'm sorry. It's an advanced pricing agreement.
So you did write it down.
Yeah, I did write it down. It's an advanced pricing agreement, and it's basically a negotiation with the Netherlands and the U.S. on the tax on what their future tax could be, and it's so that they're not double taxed. So it seems like they're managing their costs pretty well, but they still need to start turning a profit more often. They haven't really been doing that yet, but it looks like they're headed in the right direction. It looks like it could be a very good company in the long term.
Okay. So good long-term view, and I'd appreciate the research for that. So, okay, folks, it is 10:57 here. We're going to be getting going in a few minutes. Again, stick around for the AI webinar that's after this. Dive into the world of AI with our most attended webinar, where Rad AI's CEO Jeremy Barnett will discuss the impact of AI in streamlining content strategies, enhancing audience connections, and optimizing ROI in a competitive digital landscape. Our team, our virtual events have been awesome. AI, obviously, the talk of the town, if you will. So that is coming up here. You don't have to go anywhere. The redirect is already set. So we're gonna keep on trucking here for another minute or two, and then we are gonna sign off for the day. Taking a peek back here, it looks like Roma's trying to regain 6, Jay Summers. Maybe we'll have some more trades on that. Smoke Tuna saying, thank you, 13, for your depth research here on GitLab. So Smoke Tuna, just I'll full disclosure here, Jay, Joe, sorry. I'm going to kind of pull the curtain back here. Like I said, had a lot of coffee here today. One of the things that's been very, very successful for us in Happy Hour is doing some of this research, right? Research into new names, research into existing names, competitors, this is the whole thing. We're going to try to bring more of that here to live trading so that we can also talk more about swing trades and investments. But understand that unlike day trading, where we're looking at movers and momentum, there's always stuff that we can talk about no matter what the market's doing. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to save some of this stuff for periods where it's slow. Now, Smoke Tuna, I wanted to mention this to you because you asked him about that. We went out and did some of that research. Well, nothing. 13 went out and did some of that research here for you. So if anyone else has something like that, let us know. Like I said, Zoltan does a good job. 13 does a good job. I do a mediocre job. So we'll try and bring you some of that research to kind of build up swing trading. Hopefully we get a better environment for that later this year. 13, can't thank you enough. We'll see you.
Take care, everybody.
Remember, no live trading tomorrow. No, because of the quarterly. No live trading on Monday because the market is closed in observance of MLK Day. Stick around for the AI webinar. You folks are awesome. We'll see you. Take care, everybody.